Welcome back to Movie Files Recapped. Today I will show you a 2019 horror film called Girl on the Third Floor. At the start of the film, we see a man who was a lawyer. His name was Don. He was not a good man. His habits were not good. He had done a lot of mistakes. He was married, but his behavior was also not good with his wife. He wasn't sincere with his wife. Because he was a lawyer, he tells a lie many times in court. But with the passage of time, he was changing. His wife was conceiving. This means they were about to be parents. Don plans to make everything good. He purchases a new house. He goes to that house to make it better. He goes there to repair it. He has a dog. That dog also came there with him. That house was broken from inside and was seeing old. The dog of Don goes on the upper floor of the house. It sits near a dark room. There's someone throws a marble near it. It feels like someone is in that room. On the other side, Don was cleaning the house. He was taking useless things out of the house. Then he sees something black on the wall. It seems like the wall was damaged from there. Don adjusts it and removes it from there. Then he throws the garbage out of the house. Don was in that house. Meanwhile, a neighbor of his comes to meet him. She talks with him. That no doubt you are new here, but don't worry. They drink together. After it, she leaves from there. Then the night falls and Don sleeps. In the morning, he calls his wife. After it, he repairs the house. The wall which he broke, he goes at first there to fix it. He properly cuts it and fixes it. He notices that there are strange marks in the house everywhere. Now the night has fallen, he talks to her on a video call and sleeps. The next morning, Don thinks, why don't I see the other things? He goes towards the kitchen to repair the damaged sink. He was repairing the sink while bending. Then a dirty black fluid comes out of the pipe and falls on his face. Don comes out to wash his face. And after washing his face, when he returns, he sees a girl. She was wearing a skirt. She starts talking to him lovely. Her name was Sarah. But Don ignores her. Because he loves his wife very much. He was setting this house for her. That day passed. The next day Don goes jogging. After returning, he takes shower. Again that strange white fluid falls on him. He couldn't understand that, what is this happening? But he thinks that the pipes of the house were blocked for many years. So maybe there is some fault in them. Maybe this fluid was stuck in those pipes. He starts joining the broken parts of the house. He starts doing painting on them. Then Sarah again comes there. She tries to entrap him. And this time Don was entrapped. He doesn't care about his wife. When Sarah leaves, Don hears the voice of something from the upper floor. He goes upstairs and sees that its roof was fallen on the ground. Don sees that roof was broken completely. He sits down while holding his head. That what kind of house is this? I repair it on daily basis. This day also passed in cleaning the house. As the night falls, Sarah again comes there. But Dono asks her to leave from there. I don't want to keep any kind of friendship with you. I can't deceive my wife. Sarah leaves from there. But then at night, when Don was sleeping, Sarah comes to him and changes into a weird creature. That was looking horrible. But then Don wakes up. Because that was just his dream. The next day, Don was worried. Because he couldn't repair this house alone. So, he calls his friend. He says to him that I need your help in this. They start repairing that house together. With it, they also repair that broken roof. They make it perfect. During this, Sarah arrives there. Don says to her that I ask you to leave from here, why are you not leaving? Don's friend asks him that, who is that girl? Don says to him that forgive me that I allow her to move in the house. But I will not do it again. Don's friend starts fighting with him. That you will never change. Hearing it, Don goes out from there. Now Don's friend was alone at home. Those marbles also come to him. He gets shocked that there is none at home, so he follows marbles. But as he moves into the basement, he sees Sarah in front of him. There was a hammer in her hand. She attacks that boy with that hammer with power. She kills him. She wasn't alone, there was one more girl with her. The girl who came in the dream of Don. That creepy girl. When Don arrives home at night, he didn't find his friend anywhere. Then Don sends him a text message. He says that, see, I am sorry and I will make everything fine. Then surprisingly his friend replies, everything is fine, don't worry. But we are shown that he is dead. It means that Sarah or that other girl was having his mobile. Then he video calls his wife. He was walking into his house when his wife tells him that someone walked from behind him. Don tells her that there is none here. Don himself was feeling weird. That's why he sets the security cameras in the whole house. Except for one place, there Sarah kills his dog. After it, she puts it in the washing machine and turns it on. Seeing it, Don gets aggressive. He calls the police. When the police arrive, they didn't get any proof about Sarah. They leave from there. When the police leaves, Sarah comes to his house. But Don ignores her. Because he knows that Sarah had done all this. He kills her. He hides her dead body in the basement. After some days, when Don again goes to the basement, he didn't find Sarah's dead body there. There wasn't anybody in that house who can misplace her dead body. He gets worried. He searches Sarah's dead body in the whole house. While searching, he comes to the upper floor of the house. There he sees a damaged wall. When he breaks it, there was an old and a creepy doll in it. There were many marbles near that doll. Don breaks one more damaged wall. He inserts a camera in that wall. He sees that there is a soul inside. He gets scared. When he breaks another wall, he sees that a heart is beating in that wall. He also sees an eye. The same fluid was flowing from that wall. He breaks that wall in anger. What is this scene? As he breaks that wall, the blood and that weird fluid come out from every part of the house. He couldn't understand that. What is it? When he sees inside, he finds the dead body of his friend there. He sees his friend's mobile. He receives the picture of Sarah who was abusing him. There was noise in the whole house. The doors were automatically opening and closing. That creepy girl comes outside whose face was fully injured. She throws a marble towards Don. That crosses Don's foot and moves inside his body. That was moving in his body. He tries to take out that marble from his body. For it, he cuts his body from many sides. But that girl inserts more marbles in his body. Due to the bleeding, Don dies there. The next day we see that Don's wife arrives there. She wants to give surprise to her husband. She was also conceiving. But she didn't see her husband and dog anywhere. She thinks that maybe they are outside. She sees the things of the house. She sees an old newspaper. On it, there was written about a girl's death. Then she goes to check the basement of the house. Because she was exploring the house. But there were many marbles in the basement. She was seeing them. Meanwhile, Sarah arrives there. It is a shocking thing that Don had killed her. But she is still fine. It means that she is a soul. She says to her, "Welcome, I and your husband worked hard to repair this house. We repaired this house together for you and your husband." But then their neighbor arrives there, who used to talk with Don while sitting in their house. When she comes, Sarah leaves from there. They sit and start talking. Means that neighbor and Don's wife. That neighbor says to her that this house is not good for her. "You don't live here. Go from here." After it, Don's wife goes to the washroom. She starts washing her face. But then in the sink, she finds hairs. As she takes out those hairs, she sees an eye in the sink. She gets scared and starts calling her husband. But the mobile of her husband was also in the home. She goes to her neighbor. She asks her that, "Do you know where is Don?" That neighbor says that, "Leave from here as soon as possible. Before the delivery of your baby, leave this place. Otherwise, it will be dangerous for his or her life." She comes out from there. But as the night falls, she listens to the voice of the music from that house. There were many peoples. When she goes inside and sees everyone was wearing the clothes of the 20th century, she thinks maybe it is another game party. She thinks that Don wants to give her a surprise. A strange thing was happening there. There were the people standing on the balcony of that house. Sarah was the downside. A man was beating her. Everyone was watching that show. It was actually happening in the past. Now Don's wife can't see this. After it, Don's wife sees that a small girl was sitting at a place. She was doing painting on the walls. She has a lot of marbles. Now you people can understand that. Who is that small girl? Yes, she is the girl who was with Sarah. She killed Don with her marbles. Don's wife gets shocked and gets downstairs. Then she finds Sarah standing on the stairs. Sarah says to her, "Let me tell you the truth." She tells her that more than 100 years ago I lived in that house. I was a superstar, and everyone liked me. They come here to see me. Once the owner of this house oppressed me and killed me. But when I died, it didn't affect anyone. The people who like me in my life, they challenge that they can do anything for me, my fans. They don't try to even know about this, that what happened with me, and who killed me. That's why I lost my trust from everyone. My soul again comes into this house. Then Sarah moves to Don's wife to kill her. But she locks herself in a room, and there she sees her husband. He was injured, and there were scars on his whole body. Sarah says to Don's wife, "Don't worry, that's me, and this is my body, which was like this when I die." She says that your husband is also like others, like other men. He was like this house owner who oppressed me and killed me. I don't trust men. That's why I killed your husband. Don's wife was fearing while standing there. Then that small girl's soul also comes behind her. Her face was damaged. That house owner had done this cruelty with her. Somehow Don's wife comes out of there. She sees that her neighbor was sitting there. She tells Don's wife that I knew everything about this house. I knew that how many souls live in that house, and who they are. Then Don's wife says that, well, you didn't tell me the truth before. Well, you didn't tell me the right thing. If you would tell this before, my husband could be saved. And it would not happen to me. That neighbor says that I have told you that to live here is not good for you. What more I can tell you? You ignored me, and now don't blame me. Sometimes to give hint is enough. And if someone is no listening to you, then you should keep silent. After it, they take out the small girl's soul from the house together, which was in her own dead body. Then they bury her. This means they bury her. Due to it, her soul becomes calm. She moves to her world for always. Now we come to know that Sarah was in that house just because of that small girl. She also moves from there in her world for always. This means she will never return to this house. We see that the house is now cleaned. There wasn't any soul. Now Don's wife delivers a baby girl. They were living in that house. That baby girl was so pretty. Now she is few months old. One day that baby was playing, meanwhile 2 marbles falls near her. We are shown that Don is watching her daughter. It means that was Don's soul who was watching his daughter while hiding. Don's soul was still there because his body was missing. If they search and bury his body, his soul will also go to his actual place. That house will be saved. We are also not told that Don was a good or a bad soul. Will he harm his daughter, or was just playing with her? Hope for the good. With it, this movie ends.